have 4 inmates that are out at large at this time. Those inmates are 52-year-old Joey Fournier, white male, gray hair, blue eyes, 5 feet 9 inches tall, and weighs 140 pounds. He's being held in the Bibb County Jail for murder. Second inmate is 24-year-old Marc K. Anderson, black male with dreads, 5 feet 9 inches tall. He weighs 165 pounds. He was being held for aggravated assault. Third inmate is 37-year-old Johnifer Barnwell. Johnifer Barnwell, black male, 5 feet 9, weighing about 190 pounds. He was being held for the U.S. Marshals for drug charges. The fourth inmate is 29-year-old Chavis Stokes, black male, black hair, 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing 160 pounds. He was being held for possession of a firearm by a felon, as well as drug trafficking. We're right now investigating this, trying to piece together what all happened to cause this escape to take place last night. We do know that around 6 o'clock this morning that a break in the fence was found in the perimeter of the LEC jail facility. At that time, they started going backwards to figure out what happened. They started viewing video footage and discovered that right around 3:30 this morning, these inmates were able to leave out from a day room window on a second floor day room area of the jail. They were able to get out, go through that window, and run out through a break in the fence. There was some video footage of a vehicle that had been there earlier in the evening that looked like they had been tampering with the fence, as well as bringing some items into the enclosed area of the fence that we believe were used by these inmates to escape. That is why we have a lookout now for this blue Dodge Challenger. We have that vehicle. We really have very good reason to believe that that vehicle is involved in this situation. One thing I want to make clear: whenever we put this out earlier, we let everybody know. I think we got word out to the school system just as a protocol to let them know that we had an escape, but there has been no indication whatsoever that any school or that any of these inmates or any of these escapees have been anywhere around any of our schools in our area. Right now, we are following up on some leads as to where these individuals may be, and going forward. We have our partners in the FBI, ATF, state partners. This is an all hands on deck situation when something like this happens. So we certainly want people to call in. We have Crime Stoppers, 1-877-68-CRIME. There's been a $1,000 reward offered for information that will lead to the recapture of these individuals. We have also set up 2 hotlines here at the Sheriff's Office, and we'll be sending that out for more, but those 2 numbers are 478-310-4485, and the other number is 478-310-4052. Those 2 numbers, as well as certainly Crime Stoppers numbers, will be staffed 24/7 for anybody that has any type of tips or any kind of information leading to the recapture of each of these individuals. So, if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Do you know how they got into the day room during those hours?
That's what we're looking at. We have some of our situations where they can get into the day room. Sometimes the day rooms are not locked. Typically, when they are supposed to be in bed, sometimes the day rooms are not locked. Some of the doors are where they're not able to be locked, and then sometimes they're not. Typically, that's not an issue because the inmates are supposed to be at another part of the jail, but these inmates were able to get into the day room and work to open up this window. So all of that's being looked at. Go ahead, Greg.
I was supposed to ask if the white guy is possibly in Rome, Georgia, his brother's, where they last found him.
Well, they could be anywhere. Any tip, these individuals could be anywhere. We don't know if they're all together at this point. We don't have any reason to believe that they had any type of association with each other out on the street, but they certainly had some type of association with each other in the jail. So to take them to the point to where that they all wanted to escape together, but whether they're how long they stayed together or even if they're together at this point, we don't know.
Why was the public not notified before 11/20?
Well, we were looking at it. We had to backtrack to figure out when it was that this escape happened. If we had an escape, when it happened. As soon as we knew internally that there was, our investigators were immediately notified, our SRT team, the jail and the sheriff's office leadership was notified, and so we were already following leads even at that early hour. And so it was to make sure that we had all the information to get out the right information. We had to do a census of the whole jail to make sure that we didn't have any others that were missing or any other places in the facility that might have been compromised. But make sure we know that as soon as we knew that there had been an escape, internally there were investigators, there were deputies on the street looking for them as soon as we knew.
Is there any staff disciplinary actions coming?
We're looking into all of that. Right now our main goal is to get these 4 individuals recaptured. And any help that the public can give us in that regard will do. We will look at what needs to be done in the jail setting or staffing and that sort of thing going forward. We'd already started making some staff changes. In fact, the major of the jail, this was his first day being assigned in the corrections, so he sort of got a good wake-up call this morning. So, but we have good staff in there. We may make some more changes going forward, but right now my focus is getting these individuals back into jail, and we'll dissect what happened and fix that as we go forward. Grant, I think you had a question.
How many people were staffed in the jail between 3 and 6 a.m.?
Not as many as we would like.
Well, but an exact number? I mean, what's the adequate?
There was less than 10 people working in the jail.
And how many people detained currently?
I'm sorry?
How many people do you have detained currently? Like,
A little over 800. And so that's been an issue for us. Staffing, the conditions of the jail. We have a 43-year-old jail, and this happened in the oldest part of the jail, the oldest, run-downest part of the jail. And so I've been talking about, we need a new jail, we need a new jail. We have a jail that is falling down on us, that is breaking down. I think there's some elements of all of that played a role in this particular situation here. So not blaming anything. We're going to go back and figure out what were the causations of this and rectify those things. But there's never just one thing that causes something like this. There are several things. Staffing is one of them. But there are things that could have been done differently as we look into this. There are things that might have alerted deputies as to what was going on, that they could have checked into it, but that's all being looked into. We have an internal affairs investigation going into that right now. But right now, I want to catch these guys. We want to catch these guys. That is the most important thing right now, is to get these 4 individuals back into Bibb County Jail.
What's the normal night shift?
I'm sorry?
Staffing-wise?
It varies. It really does. It depends on how many people are on a shift. It depends on how many people. You have people who call in. We have part-times that come in. Sometimes we don't have as many part-times working one shift as we do another. It's always a management thing. It's always trying to get enough people on staff, and you can start off thinking you have 15 or 20 people working, somebody calls in sick, somebody has to leave, something happens. So we're gonna look at all of the factors that went into the staffing decisions and the staffing levels last night to see what role that played into it.
Gotcha. Is that 15 to 20 person number that you mentioned the ideal staffing, or what is the ideal staffing for the night shift?
Well, for any shift in the jail, about 30 people. We've not been able to have 30 people in the jail working on any shift in a long time. We're able to do it with less than that. We're able to do it with as few as 6 or 8 people. But when you want an optimum staffing level to have every position covered, it takes about 30 people to do that in the jail.